Hi guys, welcome back to our Introduction to Practical Python Coding in eHealth tutorial for beginners, where we learn about Python coding for digital health or health informatics use. Now in this tutorial, we're gonna be installing Python on your machine and also a Python software called Jupyter Notebook. So this Jupyter Notebook allows you to run Python code on the browser of your machine. So by the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to write Python code and have it run on your browser. So let's get started. First thing to do is go to python.org on your browser. So on this page, you're going to see a Downloads tab. So if you're on Windows, you click on Windows. If you're Mac OS, you click on Mac OS. I'm going to click on Windows since I'm on Windows. But if you're on Mac OS, you're going to be following the same links as mine. So once you click on Windows, you'll see a bunch of Python versions available for download. You're going to want to look at the stable releases column. You see the latest version is Python 3.10.1, but we don't want this version. So we're going to choose version 3.7.9. You see 3.7.9 is an older version of the Python, but if you're starting out and if you're new to Python, I suggest installing an older version of Python, which will have many benefits if you're new. For example, if you're starting out, you may be following a lot of example code online, and these example code are usually written in that's compatible only with an older version of Python. Um, so if you're installing an older version right now, 3.7.9, chances are whatever you find online will be helpful for you, and that's compatible with the version of Python you have. So gonna go ahead and install this one. What you want is the Windows x86-64 executable installer. You're gonna click on this one, downloads and save. Okay, now that I've downloaded, I'm gonna run it. So what I want to do is on this screen is make sure I want to check add Python 3.7 to path box. Make sure you have this box checked and click install now. Okay, now that the installation is complete, I'm going to close this window. All right, so I'm now going to go ahead and verify that Python 3.7.9 is successfully installed on my machine. I do that by going to this little search icon down here and type in CMD. Press enter. So what you should see is this little black screen called command prompt pop up on your screen. And I make this a little bigger. So what I'm gonna put in here is Python. Okay, so I see Python 3.7.9. So it's successfully installed on my machine. So you're also going to see a blinking cursor with three to the right of three greater than arrows. Actually, in here, I can put in Python commands and run Python scripts here. I'm not going to do that yet. So what I'm going to do is put exit, open and close brackets, and press enter to get out of this. Because right now, what we want to do is install Jupyter Notebook. So if you want to install Jupyter Notebook, you want to go to jupyter.org. So once you come to this website, you want to click on Install. Here on this page, you're going to see the installation instructions of Jupyter Notebook. Now, this is a very important skill that you want to pick up when you actually learn any Python tutorials, is reading documentations. So because if you're an actual Python coder in the industry, you're gonna be reading a lot of documentations, either by other people or pre-existing documentations written in the same company that you're working with. You may also be writing documentations yourself to teach other people on the code that you wrote. So reading and writing documentations is a critical skill that you want to pick up in any Python coding tutorials. So on this page is actually a written documentation by whoever developed Jupyter Notebook. They teach you on this page how to install Jupyter Notebook and run it. So we're gonna come here and read this documentation. So it says getting started with Jupyter Lab. Um, so you're gonna want to go to the heading where it says installation with pip, because that's the installer that comes with Python. So and you'll know this by through the experience what pip is. So it says if you use pip, you can install it with pip install Jupyter Lab. Oh, that's pretty convenient. That's all you got to do. Um, okay, so what this person means is that you can go back to your command prompt. Okay, it says pip install Jupyter Lab. All I got to do is put in pip install Jupyter Lab. Press enter. Oh, it didn't work for some reason. Oh, I spelled it wrong. So pip install Jupyter Lab like that. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, now it's done. So, okay, so if you don't see anything red or if you don't get any error messages, it means it's installed successfully. Okay, so I wanna run Jupyter Lab. Conveniently, down below it says run Jupyter Lab. So once installed, launch Jupyter Lab with this command. So I'm gonna spell this one correctly this time. So Jupyter dash lab. Okay, it's opening something in my browser, which is a good sign. Okay, now it works. And so that's it for this tutorial. Now you have Jupyter Notebook and Python successfully installed on your machine.